Good fight, man. Especially them last 2 rounds are really gonna end up like the early rounds, you know. But I mean, bro, Benavidez' pressure was.
David Benavidez and David Morrell just gave us a fight that has everyone talking. Here's what the pros are saying about this wild showdown. Man, that was a great fight. The last 2 rounds were crazy, but honestly, the whole fight was exciting. Benavidez's pressure was just too much. It was an awesome battle between him and the super skilled David Morrell. Jim, you were ringside. What do you think of Benavidez's performance tonight? It was pretty interesting, he says. Breaking down how Benavidez fought, constant application of power to the ribcage, to the shoulders, to any place he could touch. At the end of the day, if there's one thing Morrell should have learned tonight, throw body punches. That's the way to win big fights. I went into the tent.
Was just defending himself. Benavidez threw a few shots after the bell, so, Morrell just reciprocated that.
Brown saying on PV.com that I didn't think I had seen Morrell land a single meaningful body punch in the fight. There was one round that he didn't score any punches. The 6th, Benavidez landed bushels of body shots. That's what won him to fight that S. To be honest, I think both of them respect each other a lot. I wouldn't say they're nervous, but there's definitely a high level of respect. That's why we're not getting this fight as quickly as we'd like. It's all about the price. That undefeated record means a lot of money to both of them, you know? We all want to see that fight, but we also have to understand that these are 2 top-tier fighters. Benavidez won by decision, and that knockdown was legit. Then Morrell had a point deducted, so the score ended up being 98-92. It didn't change the outcome, though. Benavidez won clearly.
So the kind of fights that the fans deserve, they want to be entertained. It can't just be hitting.
But Morrell didn't back down. He really stepped it up later in the fight. Both of them gained valuable experience that will help them in future big fights. That kind of experience is priceless. Now, what is it about Benavidez that stands out? I think it was more about an imbalance than anything, but that's what makes it exciting. When someone like David is clearly winning the whole fight and then he gets dropped, people are like, whoa. If I was watching at home, I'd be thinking, damn. But then you see him get up, smiling, and basically saying, come on, let's go. You could tell he wasn't rattled. Morrell must have been thinking, what just happened? That's the kind of drama fans love to see. These are the fights the fans truly deserve. You know they want to be entertained at it. It can't just be hitting one side. You got to get hit back, and you've seen David's __. Face he came and brought it. That's why they call him the __. Mexican Monster think it was a knockdown, but it didn't really hurt Benz. And then I think Morrell was just defending himself. Benz threw a few shots after the bell, so Morrell just reciprocated that. Yeah, of course Canelo's not going to want to fight Canelo. Didn't want to fight Bohi. Canelo doesn't want to face David Morrell. He only seems interested in fighting guys who are either too old or too young, the ones who don't have the experience. Those are the only types of fighters he's willing to face. As for the Mexican Monster, man, I wish I could switch places and train with you guys. I'm not scared of you. Let's make it happen. Let's wrap this up. He's bringing those body shots, the inside work, and he knows exactly what he's doing. Teddy Atlas didn't hold back when breaking down the stylistic clash between David Benavidez and David Morrell before the fight. He pointed out their aggressive styles, but also noted key differences in how they approach the game. Morrell's aggression is more controlled, Atlas said, suggesting that this could be a deciding factor, with Morrell's measured style potentially countering Benavidez's relentless pressure. Tim Bradley also offered a detailed tactical analysis, emphasizing how close the fight would be and what each fighter would need to do to win. It's a 50-50 matchup, he said. If Morrell can stay focused and stick to his game plan, attacking the body, using his boxing skills, and avoiding getting trapped on the ropes, he has a real shot. And adaptability, making it clear that this fight was as much mental as it was physical. Ahead of the fight, the tension was visible as both fighters faced off at the final press conference. David Morrell, however, seemed unfazed by the heated exchanges, calmly reacting to Benz's intensity. He didn't even time to talk properly. That's a symptom of him being nervous, so the fact that he was jumpy and means that he's not all there like in composure, so and I'm here, I'm just chilling, I'm Dancing so I'm ready. Morrell's confident response stood in stark contrast to Benavidez's fiery demeanor, showcasing his belief in his own mindset and readiness for the fight. Before the fight, Jorge Lares predicted the highly anticipated matchup between David Benavidez and David Morrell, offering his expert perspective on what was to come. Lares's analysis highlighted the unpredictable nature of the fight, with both fighters bringing their own unique strengths to the table. The stage was set for an explosive showdown as the press. The tension at the conference was off the charts. David Benavidez fired back at the trash talk surrounding the fight, and you could feel the intensity in his response. It was clear that all the back and forth only added fuel to his fire. "I've got a lot of experience, a lot of power. I'm heavier than Morrell, but Morrell's got the talent too. He's fast, and he's got a strong punch with solid combinations. It's 50-50, let's see. But I think we'll see a knockdown." "Which round?" "I don't know, but this is a fight for both of us."
PPP.com that I didn't think I had seen Morrell land a single meaningful body punch in the fight.
Benavidez's fiery reaction showed just how much the pre-fight tension was pushing him to get even more focused and driven for the showdown ahead. The final press conference nearly erupted into a physical altercation. What started as trash talk quickly escalated, with both fighters exchanging heated words that set the stage for a clash full of energy. "Now we're coming with all that energy, not just talk," Benavidez said, making it clear that this was going to be a serious battle.
Morrell, your assessment, Jim, ringside, from the type of fight Benavidez fought here tonight.
It's interesting because one of,
That dog or moaner, what do you mean, bro? I mean this name, the monster is really you. Don't have the moaner. Morrell, equally charged, didn't back down, further stoking the fire. The bad blood was palpable, and fans were left wondering whether this was just pre-fight drama or a real indication of how heated the fight would get in the ring. The stage was already set for a potential war. Robert Garcia was fired up when discussing the highly anticipated bout between David Benavidez and David Morrell, and he couldn't contain his excitement about what the fight would bring to the fans. Bennett's Morrell __. How? The fight between David Benavidez and David Morrell had been building up for quite some time, and the anticipation around it was massive. Fans, analysts, and fighters alike were all eager to see these two rising stars clash in the ring. These are the kinds of fights that get boxing fans excited, the kind that feels like a game changer. These are the matchups that the sport needs. As one analyst put it, "Man, these are the fights that the world wants to see." Leading up to the fight, the buzz around the matchup grew louder. Benavidez and Morrell both had strong records, but what made this fight so intriguing was the style contrast between the two. Benavidez, known for his relentless pressure and raw power, was up against Morrell, who was a tactician with lightning speed and strong combinations. It was a fight that promised fireworks, and, for many, it felt like a turning point in the careers of both fighters. They weren't just competing for a title or for bragging rights. They were fighting for respect and for the chance to prove they were the future of the division. As the fight approached, the question on everyone's mind was how it would play out. Boxing fans and pundits all had their opinions, but no one seemed to have a clear favorite. The fight itself promised to be an explosive encounter, with each fighter bringing their own unique set of skills to the table. David Benavidez was coming into this fight as the favorite, largely because of his reputation for power and his ability to push the pace of the fight.
in the late rounds you could see that was good thinking. But what he didn't have was any way of defending effectively against Benavidez's roundhouse shots.
He had an intimidating presence in the ring, and many believed that his relentless attack would eventually overwhelm Morrell. Benavidez's size and strength were significant advantages, and his pressure style meant that his opponents had to be sharp from the first bell until the last. On the other hand, David Morrell was no slouch. The Cuban fighter was known for his impressive technical skills and speed, making him a dangerous opponent. His ability to set up his punches and control the distance was something Benavidez would need to be mindful of. Morrell wasn't just relying on his athleticism. He had shown time and again that he could box smart and make adjustments in the ring, a crucial factor against someone like Benavidez. As the press conferences rolled on, the tension between the two fighters was palpable. The build-up to the fight had everyone on edge. The trash talk started to heat up, with both fighters taking verbal shots at each other. This wasn't just a fight about skill, it was about pride. Both fighters wanted to prove they were the best, and the back and forth only fueled their determination to go in and take the other out. When asked about his prediction for the fight, former champion and analyst Mikey Garcia was quick to weigh in. Man, it's a 50-50 fight. You've got two busy guys with a lot of power, both of them going to give it everything they've got, Garcia said.
Shots upstairs and to the body. Benavidez' constant application of power to the rib cage, to the...
This is going to be a badass fight. He wasn't wrong. The energy around the fight was electric, and the consensus was that it was hard to pick a clear winner. While Benavidez might have the edge in terms of power and experience, Morrell's skill set made him a dangerous opponent. Garcia, however, gave the edge to Benavidez, saying, "I'm going with Benavidez. He's definitely got the power and the experience to get through Morrell's challenges." But he also made it clear that this wasn't going to be an easy fight for either man. It's going to be a battle, man. Both of them are capable of knocking each other out, but I think Benavidez is going to be the one who gets it done. Garcia's prediction underscored the high stakes of the matchup. It wasn't just about who won, it was about who would prove themselves as the future of the division. For Benavidez, a win would solidify his position as one of the top fighters in the world, while for Morrell, it would be the moment that catapulted him into the elite ranks of the sport. As the fight day neared, excitement in the boxing community reached a fever pitch. Analysts, fans, and even fellow fighters were buzzing with anticipation. The question wasn't just about who would win, it was about how this fight would go down. Would Morrell's speed and technique be enough to counter Benavidez's power and pressure? Would Benavidez's relentless style break down Morrell's defensive strategy? When the bell finally rang, it was clear that both fighters were ready to leave everything inside the ring. The first few rounds were a blur of punches and movement, with both fighters getting their shots in. Benavidez started off strong, using his pressure to push Morrell back and forcing him to fight off the ropes. But Morrell wasn't intimidated. He used his footwork and speed to escape Benavidez's power, landing clean shots whenever he could. As the rounds went on, it became evident that this fight was going to be a back-and-forth battle. Benavidez's relentless attack was wearing Morrell down, but Morrell wasn't just taking it. He was responding with calculated counters and sharp combinations. The tension in the arena was thick, as both men were putting on a clinic, showcasing their talents and testing each other's limits. The fight reached its boiling point in the middle rounds. Benavidez's pressure was beginning to take its toll on Morrell, and it seemed like the Mexican fighter was on the verge of breaking through. But Morrell refused to back down. In one of the most dramatic moments of the fight, Morrell landed a clean shot that briefly rocked Benavidez, sending the crowd into a frenzy. It was a reminder that in a fight like this, anything could happen. The fight continued to escalate, with both men giving it their all.